What is going on, guys? It's Justin from the J Media back with another video. So if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, you might have noticed right up there, right above my fridge, there is a huge Varis box. And quite honestly, it's been sitting there for the last few years. I kind of lost count how many years ago. But that box actually has a front bumper. It's not an empty box. And today, we might be just throwing this bumper on the car. So you guys might be wondering, which car is it for? So it's not for the RCF, not for the S2000, but actually for the Mitsubishi Lancer build. So this current front bumper that we have on, I've had for a few years now. I want to say since, it's probably been almost 5 years now at this point. But what we're going to do is we'll be taking off this front bumper, throwing on the new one. New one is unpainted, so eventually we have to schedule some time to bring it to the body shop, and get it painted. But main reason is we actually do have a buyer for this front bumper. So what that means is front bumper has to come off. I don't drive this car all that much, and I don't go to too many shows. If I do, I always have the option to take the S2000 now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and remove the front bumper. So I've removed this front bumper off the car quite a few times. So just like an OEM bumper, you want to remove this piece first, and it's just held on by some plastic tabs, some plastic clips. Remove that. It's copper 10mm bolts. Everything is pretty much 10mm bolts. Right here, I want to say 5 of them. I will be retaining this rubber strip, this OEM strip. This came from my OEM bumper. I had it transferred over to this bumper. And then there are some tabs here on each side of the fender. Alright, so after the plastic tabs are out, you can go ahead and remove this piece. Put it aside. And then a couple 10mm bolts. So 1, 2, there's one down there, 3, 4, and 5. So I always like to loosen these, but not entirely remove it, because whenever I remove the side tabs, I don't want my whole bumper to sag. So let's go ahead and loosen it real quick. Alright, so now that all the bolts are loose, I went ahead and removed the middle 3, just loosen the 2 at the edges. Gonna remove this trim as well. This is an OEM trim, so it's just held on by some plastic clips, so you can just gently remove it. I have sent my car to a body shop before and they forgot to remove it, and yeah, it's quite hard to find this OEM piece, so make sure to do that whenever you change your front bumpers. And bumper is held on right here by 10mm. This one right here, you guys might see I have a quick release, and usually underneath you have the under tray, but I don't have it. So removing the side pieces, side bolts, and then bumper should come right off. Alright, so 10mm bolt is loose. You can see the bumper sagging right now. Alright, we have fender loose on this side and this side. Right now I'm just going to remove the other 2 10mm bolts holding it in place, and bumper should come right off. Alright, and last part, after you remove that letter seal, you're going to remove this metal piece. So I just had mine held in by some small nuts and bolts. So this is what is needed to attach to your new front bumper. Alright, and we finally have the Varis box off my fridge. It's been a few years. So this is an authentic Varis front bumper from Japan. Got it from Bulletproof Automotive a few years back. Yeah, it's a pretty massive box, so you guys can tell. So it's always been on the top of my of my garage fridge, and wifey doesn't like it at all, so maybe finally we'll be able to slap it on. So let's check out what's in this box. It's been collecting dust for the last few years. So main difference is this one does have a carbon fiber front lip. So the bumper as well as the front lip, two separate attachments. Everything's all still in the bubble wrap because I never did take it out of the packaging. Alright, so we have the front bumper out. There's also some invoices and hardware over here. Varis badge, hardware, everything that you need. Alright, so bumpers off the box. I am as stoked as you guys. Last time I took this thing out of the box was a few years ago when I first bought the front bumper. So let's go ahead and actually remove the bubble wrap. Like I said, it comes the bumper, the lip, separate pieces, so we have to assemble that as well. Okay, so besides the bumper, the carbon fiber lip, the badges and hardware, as well as instructions, there's also this thing. Not too sure what this is. Almost looks like a lip of some sort. Let's see Varis over here. So let's go in and take everything out of the packaging. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have here. So there are two L-shaped brackets, a couple bolts and nuts, the Varis badge that goes on the bumper, as well as instructions. But great, they're in Japanese and I do not understand Japanese, so thankfully there are photos, so we're just going to use the photos for reference, or worst case we can do Google Translate using my phone. But yeah, everything's in Japanese since Varis is a Japanese brand. Seems like what we have to do is pretty much attach the lip to the bumper first, I believe. Yeah, and then there's like meshing and all that has to go on. Telling you about this metal bracket that we have to put on. Oh, cool. You have instructions in the back in English as well. Cool, I think I found out what that piece was for. So that goes underneath the carbon fiber lip to pretty much protect it. Pretty cool. And here is the carbon fiber lip. Carbon looks so good. There's a spot where the badge goes. Oh, looks so good. It's just been sitting in the box for so long. So yeah, I think what I might try to do is, it might be a little easier for me to attach this piece underneath the lid to protect it, just so whenever I do rest on the ground it doesn't scrape it or anything. So let me go ahead and tackle that first. Okay, so this is the underneath of the lip, and every product does say that it's authentic product from Varis. Has this stamped on every one of them with a serial number, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this piece right here, I think I might just leave that for the very last, because I just realized there are little holes here. However, it seems like we might have to drill into the beautiful carbon lip, which I don't want to do right now. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and rest this carbon fiber lip facing upwards, because you see all these holes. That's where we'll attach the bumper onto the front lip. Let me go ahead and rest this on a clean surface. So I'm going to rest it on my Voltex box. This is actually the Voltex box that the S2000 bumper came in when I first got it. Rest it down here. Alright, so I took off the bubble wrap. You guys can see here's the bumper, unpainted in white. It does have the mesh grills right here. Well, this piece doesn't seem like it's really attached. But the game plan, I think, is what we'll do is remove this plastic wrapping. They provided some hardware, so there are also holes already pre-drilled underneath the bumper. So we should be able to attach this bumper onto that carbon front lip. Okay, so we have the bumper taken off from the bubble wrap. They did take time to kind of secure the edges where it meets the fender, as well as the little edges there. So big thank you to Varis. You guys know sometimes it's pretty brittle around these end points. So yeah, nice little badging here. I think we might be missing a mesh grill right here. I guess I know some guys run it, some guys don't, and that's why you have this little tab. But we might be missing some of the mesh grill. So anyways, right now these mesh grills are probably going to come off because we'll be spray painting them black before getting them actually mounted. But for now, I just want to fit this onto the carbon lip, attach it, and see how it looks. Oh, that looks so mean. Okay, so they did provide us some hardware, so we're gonna go ahead and use these. Put it on. Shouldn't be that hard. We do have to remove, you know, some of that bubble wrap. Obviously, I'll try to keep most of it on. Maybe just remove the underside, just so we can protect it, because we still do have to bring it to the body shop to get everything painted. Alright, to make things a little bit easier for myself, I separated all the different nuts and bolts, just so I know the bigger ones are there, small ones are there. A lot easier to find my tools and nuts and bolts whenever I need them. Here, even better, OCD me wants to kind of rearrange it in a nice little box like this. Okay, so these holes are pretty big. So what that means is we probably will be using the two biggest nuts and bolts. So just gonna thread it through from the top. Good thing is everything is already pre-drilled for us, so all we're gonna do is find the hole, drop it in, feed it through, just like that, and then just feed the nut underneath. So right now I'm just gonna do everything by hand, make sure everything lines up first. Okay, so everything is in, just hand tight, and I am going to tighten it with a ratchet later, but just wanted to see how it looks. Fitment's on point. I'm so glad that Varis has all the pre-drill holes, makes things a lot easier. So now that everything's hand tight, let's go ahead and use some wrenches to tighten it. I'm not going to have it too tight, but the plan is once everything's fixed onto the car, we will be driving the car down like that to get it painted at a body shop. So it will be taken off eventually. I don't want to have it too tight, but at the same time I want it nice and snug so that it won't fall off when I drive there. We have everything all fixed and in place. Like I said, I have it pretty snug but not overly tight. One thing I did notice is all these pieces are kind of fixed on but very loose still, so definitely don't want them falling off on the ride. So what I did was I just reattach it. So as you see here, there's only like 1 or 2 prongs. Some of them are not even attached. So let me go ahead and remove everything and reattach this properly so that it's not going to be flimsy like that on the drive to the body shop. So much better. Again, I'm not going to have it super tight because this will be taken off again and spray painted black, and we also do have to paint the bumper. So all these little tabs are already affixed on with putty, so just gotta bend it. Make sure to seek caution whenever you do it. You don't bend the tabs too much. put it on like so, and then you just bend and test backwards. Yeah, pretty easy to work with. For now, I'm not really caring what directions these steps are facing, even if they face outwards, which looks ugly, but I just want it nice and firm just so we can make sure it doesn't fly off on our drive. So yeah, everything looks pretty firm. Good to go. Okay, so next thing that I want to do is I do want to attach on this part right here. So I do need to attach on this metal bracket as well as this guy right here, this rubber seal. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bubble wrap here that protects the sides. You might put that back on later, but for now we want to attach on this metal bracket. So various products make great fitment, so let's go ahead and slip this on. This goes underneath. Everything's already pre-drilled for us, so we just gotta line up the holes. The big holes are what feeds the 10mm bolts to the car, but the smaller ones, they actually did provide it here as well, so very nice. Okay, so very easy. Just get these little guys. Like I said, every hardware is provided. You just want to match it. I already put one on each side to hold this metal bracket in place, but you just feed it in the smaller holes, and that's because the bigger holes right on the top, you're going to be putting that rubber trimming later on. So right now you're just feeding it in, finding these little holes, feeding them in, feeding it from the top, and then on the bottom you grab one of these nuts provided and thread it underneath. Okay, so now that you have all these fed in, like I said, all these big holes are for the rubber trim. These are held on by a Phillips screw, so you just gotta screw it tight, and then underneath there's a nut. Okay, so everything is nice and secure. Right now we can go ahead and feed this rubber trim back on the top. So again, all these have to be taken off by the body shop whenever you get there. But you want to feed it in the hole, just clip it in like so. Just clips in pretty easy. And a lot of guys sometimes say aftermarket bumpers fitment is not great. And if you're missing some of these weather trim pieces, then that's why. So always make sure, keep these metal brackets and keep this rubber trim. These are OEM parts of your OEM bumper. If you bought a car without OEM bumpers, it's fine. You can always just get new ones. Alright, so everything is pretty much on. Just quick recap, we did the carbon fiber lip attachment to the front bumper. And then we also make sure the mash grills are put nicely and secure. Put on this metal OEM bracket. Put on this rubber weather seal. So everything is on, and right now what we can do is we can go ahead and slap it on the car, test fit it. Again, fitment should be pretty spot on. And bam, right now we have the front bumper sitting right in front of the car. Doesn't it look for a pretty nice thumbnail before we throw it on? What do you guys think? I think this calls for a quick cinematic B-roll. Okay, so right now we're gonna go ahead and attempt to test fit everything. So like I said, now that you have this bracket on, these can all fit right here. There's quite a few spots for you to connect it. So just gonna put the 10mm bolts there, and then I'm just gonna fit on the 10mm screw here on the sides as well to the fender. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10mm bolts all on there. I just threaded on by hand, and they are still pretty loose. Reason being because I want to adjust the fitment, so at least it's kind of on. You have a rough idea right now. So now we can go ahead and play around with adjusting the sides. Okay, so we have one side on. Right now we're going to do the other side. So they also provided these bolts to attach it on, but I use some longer 10mm, so as long as it has 10mm, it works. Pretty much everything is provided. The only thing that's not provided are, like I said, this rubber stripping as well as these metal tabs.
A few moments later.
Alright, so everything is on. So like I said, I do need to send it to the body shop to get painted, as well as fix some of the fitment stuff. So fitment's not bad, but around the headlights, notice there's small little gaps, pretty typical of fiberglass parts. On this side is a little worse. I'm sure we can kind of get it fixed by a body shop. Also, we do need to put in the mesh grill here, but I'm not sure if they forgot to provide this top piece of mesh grill. We do have the bottom piece. I just took it off. So yeah, we might have to get a bigger mesh grill for the top. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good. So what do you guys think? Hope you guys like it. And some of you guys might be, oh, you already had a Varis bumper. Why are you putting this one on? So two reasons. Number one, this one is slightly different. We do have a carbon fiber lip on it. The other one does not have a carbon lip. And the second reason, and I guess you can say the more important reason, is so I've had this bumper sitting for a long time, for a few years, on the top of my fridge in the garage. I just never took the time to get it installed or painted. So it's always like the second backup bumper. But what happened was I had someone who was looking for a new bumper, so I decided to let the old one go so we can slap on the new Varis bumper. So what do you guys think? I hope you guys like it. Obviously right now mismatched paint looks a little bit janky, but hope you guys like it. And again, if you guys are new to the channel, leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe. Thank you so much. Catch you guys in the next video.